Hey everybody, welcome to our video on how to get to gold. Now, if you're watching this, then I assume you're probably trying to get to gold, or you're probably trying to help somebody get to gold. My name is Kelly Norman. I'm Diamond Ambassador with Plexus, and I have drawn in 4 amazing women that have been successful in this business to share tips and training with you. You know, our company is growing so fast, and we have so many silver ambassadors that are saying, okay, I'm ready to get to gold. What do I need to do? So we are going to pull from these amazing women, and they are going to share tips that is going to help us all on getting to gold and helping our teams get to gold. So Corrine Grodi is going to start off, and then we're going to go with Suzanne Clinton, Angie Thompson, and Beth Anderson. And I just want to thank you ladies for sharing your tips and taking time out of your day. So I'm really excited about this. I'm going to turn it over to Corrine.
Okay, thanks, Kelly. All right, hi guys. I'm a Diamond Ambassador also with Plexus. So for going for gold, I love talking about this because it took me a long time to get to gold. And I learned that it's not a race. Like this whole process, you know, with your health and then also with the business side is just a big journey. And whether it takes you 5 months or 10 months or 2 years to get to gold, you know, it's just part of the process, and to just enjoy it and learn as you can go. So I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of what I did wrong, and hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. So it actually took me from sign up to gold, it took me 10 months. And I'm so glad I didn't give up. And I always tell my ambassadors, just don't give up. Keep going, keep learning, keep growing, and it'll happen. Just everybody's time frame is a little bit different. So when I started, I actually didn't tell anybody. That was my first mistake. I didn't tell anyone other than my upline knew and my husband knew for 3 months. I didn't know anyone else that did Plexus. So I decided to talk about it. And at about the 3-month mark, I thought, well, you know, I was definitely not going to post on Facebook. But what I could do was I thought I could message. And I was an English teacher for 11 years. And I feel like I'm a pretty good writer. And so I'm like, I'm going to compose this amazing email. And I'm going to pick 30 people. I've lived in different states. I'm going to send out this email. And I wrote this thing to me like a week. And it was like every description of every product, so detailed. All the things you could know about all of our products. Awesome things, the income and the Lexus and the trips, even though I didn't know a single person that had earned any of this at the time. I just knew my upline, and she was at the same place I was. So my letter was just not from the heart at all. It was very business-like, to the point. It was long. It was probably really boring. But I thought it was really well written, and I was doing a great job. So I sent that thing off to 30 people, waiting for, you know, the floodgates to come in, and nothing happened. About a week in, I got one response, and she wanted to know the ingredients. So I'm like looking stuff up. I find this document. It was 13 pages long, and it listed every single ingredient in every single Plexus product at the time. And so I thought I was doing a great job once again, and I emailed that off to her, and she never replied to me. I mean, I'm assuming now all those people were so overwhelmed and thought I was just nuts. So I pretty much kind of gave up. And, you know, I just thought, well, it's maybe not for me. I love the products. I love what it's doing for me, but I'm just not at the point where I can post on Facebook personally. And so it's just not going to happen. And the email too, she actually called me and said, hey, are you still doing that Plexus stuff? I was like, yeah. She's like, well, I think I would like to try it. Can you tell me a little bit about it? And I was so nervous because I hadn't really ever talked about it. You know, I wrote up that great email, you know, didn't really watch too many videos, didn't read too much. So all I could tell her was what products I was on, what it's done for me, and what I know so far. And we only talked for about 10 minutes, but apparently that was enough because she ended up ordering as a customer that night. And it was really like a come to Jesus moment for me. I was like, wow, I need to open up. I need to talk to people, and I need to get on the phone, because just emailing people it's just not going to happen like that. And I need to just tell what I know. I don't have to know everything about Plexus, but I know what I take and what it's done for me. And, that's just going to have to be good enough right now. So I started doing that. And even a week after that, I actually posted on Facebook. And the day I posted on Facebook, I told my upline, I said, I'm going to give this 1 year. And I will put my all into it. And I will post on Facebook. And I will start calling people. And I will be more open about speaking about it. But it's a year. My husband kind of agreed. And so that was that. And a year from that moment to exactly a year later, I went Emerald that day, which is very ironic. And then it was a few months later to Diamond. But really, I opened up and I started talking and telling like my story and, what the products had done for me. And that just had made so much difference, talking like from your heart, not just being like this book, a Plexus book. That's all I kind of thought it was, like just give them everything about Plexus and they're going to sign up, they're going to join. So I really think, starting from day one talking about it, you don't have to have this amazing story yet. Just your day to day. How do you like the taste? How do you like this? How are you feeling now? I think that makes such a difference. So don't give up. You will get to gold. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get to gold, whether it's, the 10 months it took me. If it takes longer, it's fine. The other recommendation I would have, I didn't know anything about network marketing at all whatsoever. And so I started to read a book. And I decided, I'm going to find a network marketing book, and it was a 4-year career, and see what it's all about. And I actually signed up to go to convention that year. I was not even silver that month, and decided, I'm just going to give it my all. And I really committed to Plexus and committed to myself that I was going to do this. So I think it just takes that like persistence and consistency and, kind of believing in yourself and just being real with people. That would be, pretty much my number one thing that I didn't do. That if I were to do it all over again, so many things I would change. However, I know that all those things kind of led me, to Diamond, and I was ready for Diamond when it happened. And if it had happened a year ago, I probably wouldn't have been ready. So we all have our own journeys. So definitely take that away. Okay, so Suzanne Clinton, I don't see her on the screen. Is she there still? Is Suzanne there? Suzanne's going to talk next. Diamond Ambassador. No. Is Suzanne there?
Well, it looks like we lost Suzanne. I bet she'll be back. So let's move on and go with Angie.
Okay.
Hey guys, thanks so much. My name is Angie Thompson, and I want to thank you for having me on the call. That was some great information. So I was taking tons of notes. So what I want to talk to you about is the foundation of getting to gold. That for me, I think was one of the biggest accomplishments. Silver was, great, but I think once you get to gold, you really have that great foundation underneath of you for a really strong business. So some things I want to tell you is don't wait. I was in the business for 4 months, and I didn't do anything other than I had passion about the product. And so I feel like I missed those first 4 months, but I wouldn't go back and change anything, just like you're going to hear so many of them say today. But getting started right out of the gate, I think, is really, really important. If you've been in the business for a little bit and you feel stagnant, I would say it's the 1st of September. Act like you just signed up, and let's get going. Go out strong out of the gate. The other thing is, to do that is you need to come up with a list of at least 100 names. And so this is how we start every person out. Go through and empty your brain on paper like you're getting paid $100 for every single name that you write down on paper. When you do that, what you're going to find is you're going to come up with a really great list. So Don't prejudge. Don't think, oh, well, this person might be interested or that person wouldn't be interested. Just empty your brain on paper with names that you know. That's the first thing you want to do. Try to come up with at least 100 names. Now, what are you going to do with that list of 100? What I like to tell people to do is go through and key in on 10 people that you think would be interested in the products and 10 people that would be interested in the business. So we're going to just start there because the goal is to get 3 new customers and 3 new ambassadors. That's a really great foundation as a silver ambassador to get going. So your next goal, you need to shoot for 10 and 10, 10 customers and 10 new ambassadors. And you want to start to duplicate that. So don't worry about, I don't know enough about the products. I don't know enough about the compensation plan. I don't know enough people. If you go and you start emptying your brain and come up with that list, like for instance, I wrote my nephew down because when I wrote my nephew's name down on my list, I started to think about the people that he knew. So it's not necessarily how many people that would be interested in the products or opportunity. It's how many people can you come up with and show this opportunity and these products to. Because really you're just going to sort through people until you find the right ones to become your customers, okay? So you have your list now. Now what do you want to do with that list? What you want to do with the list is you want to go through it. So you're going to start with your top 10. After you get through the top 10, you're going to just keep going through the list, okay? But what do I say? What do I do? There's about 5 to 7 steps that we like to share to do. The first one is you're going to pique the interest with your people that you've chosen. Out of your 100, you're just working with 10 right now. You want to figure out a way to pique the interest. Now, for me, I didn't use social media to build my business. I wasn't familiar with how to do any of that, but we do have a lot of people in Plexus that did build their business that way. For me, I just made myself network on purpose. So I would pique the interest by doing this. I would mix my drink up at the ball game, or I would mix my drink up when I was just having lunch with someone. Okay, I wasn't necessarily saying, here's my website, now do you want to order and become my customer? I wasn't doing that. I was just throwing out these little teasers where they would see me drinking the drink and they would see me using the products, okay? So I would start to pique the interest. If you do use social media, you can start to pique the interest of people that are following you on social media. So you could say, it's Monday, I feel great today, or I had so much energy at the end of my day today that I decided to walk an extra mile today, or something like that. You're just going to put these little teasers out to get people interested in you and following you, okay, if you're going to use social media. Find a creative way to stay in touch with people after that. So if you're using social media, you might post something like you had so much energy, and then you'll look at who liked your post, okay, and then you want to go and like their post. You're going to give what you get. If you just talk to someone and you're out networking on purpose, what you want to do then is you want to put yourself in that position again to network on purpose. After you do that, that is like planting the seed when you pique the interest. They're watching you. They're wondering what you're drinking. If you're working, mix your drink up at your desk every single day. Eventually the person next to you and the desk next to you is going to ask, what is that? What are you doing? Why are you taking those products? And then it's going to open the opportunity up for you to talk about the products, okay? So you're planting the seed, piquing the interest, and then steps 2, 3, and 4 basically are following up. How are you going to follow up? For me, if I am mixing my drink at work, I'm going to continually do that, and I'm going to start talking about how I feel in that. But then I'm also going to say, have you ever heard of Plexus? Are you familiar with anyone that is looking for health products like we might have? And I'm just going to still then put those little teasers out. Okay, so after you do that, then that is like watering the seed, putting sunshine on the seed. The seeds are going to start to grow, okay? And then what we want to do at the end of all of our follow-ups, they say it takes 4 to 6 exposures for someone to really be interested or to come out and ask you or be open to you asking them if they might be interested in becoming a customer or be part of the business. So after you do those follow-ups, what you want to do is you have to ask them, do you think you would be interested in getting started on some great products? That's probably the hardest thing for most of us to do. So if you're silver or just getting started and you're right there where you think you're ready to start it on the product, it's really important for you to put it out there. Really, our job is to guide people, whether it's someone becoming a customer or someone that wants to become an ambassador. It's just our job to help guide them to make their decision on what products they want, how they want to get started, what welcome pack they'd like to get started with. If you can duplicate this with your new ambassadors, you're going to see this duplication happen, and it's going to help you get to gold, okay? So just start with the basics. Don't make it too complicated at all. After they have started to show a little bit of interest, that's when you want to go and you want to ask them to become your customer or your ambassador. So the final thing that you want to do is you want to actually schedule an appointment with them. Whether they want to become your customer or your ambassador, always schedule that appointment to get them started off on the right foot. If you can get these 3, 4, 5 steps down, you guys can grow your business very quickly to gold. Once I figured out that it was just the same thing over and over and over again, getting the person set up the right way, you'll see that duplication will happen and your business will grow. The most important thing I can tell you guys is don't give up. I wanted to give up so many times because I just wasn't sure of myself. It was me. I wasn't sure of myself. But when I decided to draw the line in the sand and that I was going to become a gold ambassador, in 30 days I became a gold ambassador once I made that decision. So just make the decision. Don't be afraid. We're all like each other. That's what I love about this company. There's one of everyone. There's teachers, there's stay-at-home moms, there's people from the corporate world, all different sorts of people, and we're all able to attain the same thing as a gold ambassador. So you guys can do this. Don't give up. That's the main thing. Be consistent with your follow-up because people like someone that's passionate about what they're doing. So if you don't have any other skills, we all have passion about something. Find your passion with Plexus and you can totally do that. So thanks for asking me to speak today. I think Suzanne is back on now, and so I'm going to turn it over to Suzanne Clinton.
Thank you, Angie. Sorry about that, y'all. My cable guy cut my Wi-Fi cord. But I'm back. We're good. Okay. Thank you, Kelly, for inviting me on this call. When she asked about tips for getting to gold, I was so excited because I'm so passionate about helping team members get to gold. I had a leader tell me one time, and I'll never forget this. She said, you can get to gold, you can get to diamond. And that has always stuck with me. And I firmly, firmly believe that because if you think about it, when you get to gold, you've got a pretty established team. You've got a pretty established organization. You have approximately 20, 21 ambassadors. And you're a leader when you have one team member, but you're really a leader when you have 20 or more on your team. So that's a huge accomplishment. Okay, so I'm just going to go through some steps. So first step, you made it to silver. Okay, so you've got that $100 bonus. You've got 3 people on your team. You're excited. You're ready to go. Hopefully you got some extra money even from PV commissions and all that. And so you're wanting to get to gold. So as a silver, you can now actually get paid on your levels 1 through 5. Okay, so which would be going deep, okay, 1 through 5. You need 100 pay points, and 15 of those have to be outside your primary leg. So, like I said, that's about 21 ambassadors on your team total. So what you want to do is you want to continue going wide. I'm always looking for new ambassadors myself. Even as a diamond, I'm looking to recruit and to keep adding level 1s. But you have to go deep, okay, guys? You have to go deep and grow your teams underneath you, underneath each of your legs. And because you want your team members, and to do that, you want your team members to be adding for you because that's what creates duplication and that's how it works. So I don't know if you've heard this or not, but for about every 10 team members you add that you personally sponsor, you can probably count on about 2 of those to actually really want to work the business. Give and take. Could be a little more, could be less. So again, that's why you want to continually still be adding level 1s to your team. Okay, so let's talk about going deep.
For me, and I think the key to going gold is to get all your team members to silver. That is what I constantly teach to my team. Get your team members to go silver. If you want to go gold and you want to go to the next rank, get your team members to promote. So naturally, if you're trying to get to gold, you want to get as many as you can to go silver. So that is also called the power of 3. If you haven't heard the power of 3, Sheila Medina has a video on it. There's lots of information out there about the power of 3, but that's what that is. That's what duplication is. So if you get you're silver, you've got 3 people on your team, then your goal is to get each of those 3 members to add 3 members, and then those members to add 3 members. And if you really need to write it out, you can see that that's how it works. It's gonna continue to grow, and that's how you get to promote and you get up to the jewel level, the diamond level, whatever that is. Okay, so how do you help your team go silver? When you're trying to help them go silver, when I first sign up an ambassador, my goal is to get a check in their hands that very first month. I want them getting some money in their bank account because let's just face it, money talks. When people get money in their bank account, it's motivating. It was motivating for me. I remember getting my very first check and I was thinking to myself, wow, okay, so this company does actually pay you. You do get paid. And so I want to get a check that very first month into my team members' hands. So the second thing I do is I try to tell them, let's identify your why. Let's talk about why you're doing Plexus, why you started with Plexus. Is it because you're just passionate about health and you want to help anybody you can get healthy? Is it that you're working a full-time job and you would like to stay home with your children? Is it maybe you just want to pay for extra vacations or whatever it is? So really get to their heart and find out why they're doing what they're doing, so that when they're going through this process of growing their team, that they can come back to it and say, okay, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Next, like Angie mentioned, help them make a contact list. Help them write down anyone and everyone they can think of, possibly their dream teamer, somebody who they think would be influential, who would be a great leader, who would be good at the business, who is passionate about health, whatever it is. So get them to do that. Help them learn how to turn their customers into ambassadors. That's huge. If you've got a lot of customers, you've got to get those customers into ambassadors. That's your golden ticket, is those customers being able to turn them into ambassadors. And that naturally is, of course, going to help them to get to silver by adding those. So get your customers to have results, and then approach them about the business and tell them about the great opportunity that it is. Next, do 3-way calls. Get them on the phone, help them do 3-way calls with potentials that are interested in the business. You're their upline, so you can say, hey, I know about the business. Let me tell your new potential about it, and I'm happy to get on and help. 3-way calls have been huge for me. Also, mini conference calls. I have 2 Zoom meetings tonight with 2 different silvers. So we're getting all of their team members on a Zoom, and we're talking about strategies and ways to help them to grow their teams and to get to silver or gold or whatever. I guess it would be to get to silver if the team member is silver that I'm getting on with. But doing those Zoom meetings are huge, and just having that contact and that either face-to-face or just talking through it and getting personal and connecting with people is what's going to help. Bottom line, and I'll end with this, you want to be sure that ultimately that your level ones understand that they have to duplicate in order for them to grow. If they have to teach that to their level one. So if they're not teaching that to their level ones, then it's going to be hard to keep going on down the line and get them to duplicate. I'm very deep. I have very deep teams, and so do all of us on here that are diamonds. And so you have to get them to do that. So just make sure they understand that it doesn't stop with just, you recruiting and getting to silver, but you've got to keep it going and keep the momentum. And lastly, if you guys don't get to a rank or gold, since we're talking about gold when you want, it's okay. Like Corrine was saying, it doesn't matter how long it takes you there. It's your own story, your own journey. I keep thinking about the amazing opportunity we have with this, and I can honestly say, if I was still a gold ambassador almost 2.5 years in, hey, that is worth it to me. I needed $500 a month. That was fabulous to me. I mean, it was like paying more than a car payment for me. So even if you have to stay at that for a little while, it's going to be worth it to attain the repercussions and the financial freedom. I can just say it, for as where we're at right now, where I'm at right now, like it's been. So hang in there, you'll get there. But gold is huge, so keep going. And I'm going to hand it over to Beth Anderson.
Okay. Hello. Am I there? I pressed the wrong button. Hey guys. Thanks Suzanne and thank you Kelly. I'm so excited and listening to all of this. There's been some amazing stuff. But I am Beth Anderson and I'm a Diamond Ambassador. And I know that all 5 of us could probably talk on this all day long about how to become a Gold Ambassador, because we want you to become a Gold Ambassador. We want you to succeed in this company, and I know that myself and every other Diamond will do whatever it takes to get any of you to Diamond, because we believe that it can happen. And so like I said, we could talk about this all day. There's a couple things in particular that I want to talk about, and one is your belief and turning your belief into your passion. When I first started with Plexus, I had watched Celeste and 2 or 3, Rainey and Ariel, several of my friends take Plexus for several months. And truthfully, I thought that they were crazy, and I had no intentions of Plexus working, and I really had no intentions of working the business at all. But pretty quickly, maybe that same week, God just said, do it. And so I don't even really know if when I started sharing, if I'd even tasted a sip of the pink drink at that point. But this is what I know. I believe that it worked because I had seen my friends take the products for months and it worked for them. So even though I didn't have my own story, I believed that it would work. And so I started sharing their stories and just sharing what I was doing. I would share on Facebook. I would share with my family members. And so, and pretty quickly, my business did start to grow. And so pretty soon, I believed that I could make money doing this, which is something that I didn't believe before. But I had to find that belief. And as the months went on, my belief grew and grew and grew and quickly turned into my passion. And why has it become my passion? Well, for many different reasons. At first, my why was I wanted to lose weight, and I did, and my husband lost weight, but in that process, our friends started taking it, and they started losing weight, and their health started to improve. And so I started believing all these things. And then, I started making money where I was able to quit my job. And so I was like, okay, I have lots of friends who would like to stay home and quit their jobs. So I became passionate about anyone can do this. Let's do this. Let's do it together. And as in the 2.5 years that I've been doing this, it really has become a passion because I've seen so many lives change and so many different reasons. And so people see me and they're like, you're so passionate. And I'm like, of course I'm passionate. If you saw the stories that I saw or hear at the meetings, on the opportunity calls, my friends, if you saw these on a daily basis, these are people looking in, not Plexus, you would be passionate because Plexus is an amazing opportunity, an amazing company, and lives are being changed. So I really want you to work on finding your belief. What do you believe? If you don't have results yet, that's okay. I didn't either, but I believed it would work because I saw that it worked for my friends. If you don't have belief and you need to start looking on the testimony pages. Start asking around, asking your upline to get you, testimonies of people that you can believe in what happens. Financially, look at the financial testimonies. Message someone and ask them their story. Listen to the Wednesday night opportunity calls. But find your belief because people are going to want what you have when you become passionate about it. And that's why 2.5 years later, I still have friends that have watched me the entire 2.5 years that finally say, okay, I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to talk to you. And it really kind of makes me giggle sometimes because I'm like, you're one of my good friends and you've seen me for 2.5 years. But sometimes it takes being consistent and then believing that I really do believe in it and that it's not some fad. And so if you become passionate about it, I promise you people will see and watch and believe you. So you have to find that belief first. The second thing I really want to encourage you to do, and we've been doing a ton of these, I really want you to figure out in your own way how to do a launch party if you've not done that. Even if you're gold, and you don't have to call it a party if you don't want to call it a party. Call it a sip and see. Call it a girls' night. Whatever you want to call it. But I am telling you, I have been doing these with several of my new team members. Personally, I don't even just do them for my level ones. I do them for others. But they're working. And what they do, and we've done them several different ways. If it's just going to be a small group, I've done them at people's houses. I've done them just this week. I did one at a restaurant in the middle of a Mexican restaurant with music playing like crazy. It didn't matter. We just had a big table. I didn't even have a screen. I just talked. I was real. I shared my story. I shared the products. I didn't share all the products. I shared what I knew in a simple form so people would just listen. So it doesn't have to be anything fancy. I also did one this week. One of my ambassadors owns a gym, and so we did hers at a gym. And this actual ambassador, this was the second one I've done for her in 4 months. We did the first one 2 weeks after she signed, and that was she signed like mid to late April, and she went Ruby this week while we were on our trip doing different things. And I truly believe that it has a lot to do with her getting those people to listen to her. And so what she did is she had, the first time I went down there, she had probably 40 or 50 people come and listen. It doesn't have to be 40 or 50 people. It can be 2 or 3 people. It can be a lunch. Get people, though, in front of you listening to you. And like somebody said earlier, you don't have to know every single detail about every single product or every side of the business. Just share what you know. Grab a couple of your friends, or, make it a girls' night and say, hey, I just want y'all to come listen to what my new adventure is. No, you don't have to buy anything. I just want you to come listen and just share from your heart and be real. That's something else that somebody said. Just be real. But what's happening is you're bringing people and they're getting in front of you and they're listening to what you're saying, and something might strike a chord. Oh, okay, well, I just thought it was for weight loss, because I promise I still have people that just think Plexus is for weight loss, which is what I thought at the very beginning. I had no idea, and I was like, I'm a healthy person. I don't need anything else. Obviously, that has changed now. But just getting people in front of you and launching that and making up, hey, guys, come join me and see what my new business is. They don't have to know it's network marketing. Just say it's your new business. It is your business. But getting those people in front of you, and just sharing your heart with them. And I really believe almost everyone that we have done probably since all summer has had 75 to 80%, if not more, success rate of people either turning into customers or turning into ambassadors. So I did 2 this weekend for a team member, one in Scottsdale, one in New Mexico. And she had, just yesterday, they had 10 people become ambassadors off of those 2 meetings. And truly, it was just because people came and people saw. I did one at a house not too long ago, and a girl came up to me and she said, you know what? She goes, my cousin's been telling me about this forever. And she goes, I really just came because I was tired of her telling me about it. She goes, but listening to y'all and hearing your passion and listening to the real life stories, I'm all in. Signed up as an ambassador on the spot that night. It's getting people in front of you, whether it be 2 or 3 people at a launch lunch or whatever you want to call it. Maybe it's 10 or 15 people at your house, 25 people at a restaurant, 50 people at a gym, however you want to do it. If you need help, get your upline to help. You can even do it online. I've even been doing opportunity meetings online for some people that I don't live close enough to, and they have people. Do it however you need to get, but get face-to-face with them, because it's more personable. And I just feel like people, this day and age, we're lost in texting and messaging and all of that. And I really do feel getting that personal touch, that personal communication with people goes so far. So I'm just going to wrap that up. If you have other questions about that, please message me. I will help you in any way. But don't quit. If you quit, that's not going to do anything for you. Don't get discouraged. You can go gold. Every one of us, probably even on this call, we're from a different phase of life or did something different, or, we were teachers or we were whatever. And all of us did it, and we did it in our own way, and we did it in our own time. And so just keep going, ask questions, learn all that you can, watch videos like this. There's a million of them out there from leaders, and just learn all that you can, and don't quit. Get gold. Once you get gold, I'm telling you, it's an amazing, amazing ride. It's a good ride before that, but gold for me was that when I got gold is when it got real. So anyways, thanks guys for listening, and always ask questions if you have them.
Wow. That was absolutely amazing. And you know what I loved about this is that everybody had what I call like a different flavor. Everybody has a different journey, a different take. So, you have your journey. Don't compare. And that's going to be something that you hear a lot of leaders say, is that don't compare your journey to their journey. Be coachable, be teachable, acquire information, but make it your journey. A couple of just tips, points I want to make as I was listening to everybody here is, one thing I want to say is that if you want this to work, you can work this business full-time or you can work this business part-time, but you can't work this business some of the time. Okay? So I want you to decide how much time you're willing to put in to the day to work your plexus. Is it 30 minutes? Well, by golly, work 30 minutes every single day and it will pay off. So make sure you are consistent. Time management, set aside some time. We noticed Angie was talking about she didn't build hers on Facebook. I think that's awesome that she brought that out, because remember, we're not comparing. We have our own journey. Personally, I built a lot of my business on Facebook. So whatever phase of life you're in, wherever you're at, pick it up and make it work. If you are doing Facebook, I encourage you to learn how to post. Don't be salesy. Don't put, I don't like to put graphics up. The only graphic that I would put up is if we're running a special. I tell you what I did is that when I looked at these products, I don't know, I was not a nutritionalist. I did not have an education. I tell people I got my education on Google 101. See, I saw that these products were helping with gut health, inflammation, blood sugar. I just took keywords like an oxygenated body, because I had no idea what an oxygenated body was. And then I Googled it, I read about it. And so I made a post as if I was talking to a 5th grade class about an oxygenated body. I didn't go barf all this scientific information, but I was real and I broke it down. And it's like, oh my goodness, did you know that an oxygenated body creates an atmosphere that disease doesn't want to grow in? Guys, our BioCleanse it oxygenates your body. It levels out your pH. Do you know about pH? Maybe read a little bit about that and then post something that is so simple. So you need to know about gut health. You need to know about what inflammation does in the body. Now, does that mean you have to know all this stuff before you get started? No, it doesn't. But these are some things that you want to read about, you want to know about. And I tell you, every conversation I had with everybody in my life ended up with gut health. I could be sitting at a baseball game and the person next to me, we're going to be talking about gut health, because everything stems back to that. So you don't have to know everything, but be teachable, be coachable. And then when you're on Facebook, just post some information. And I loved it when somebody said, just post, I have energy today. I am so thankful that I can go play with my kids or whatever that is. Your why. Somebody mentioned your why. Let me tell you, this is so important. When I very first heard this, I thought, your why. No, you need to know your why. You need to write it out. Spend some time self-reflecting. Why are you starting this? Because I tell you, the reason I started this was to get out of debt. I was tired of living in lack. So that why drove me each and every day on days that I didn't want to work. And so if your why doesn't make you cry, then you need to sit down and rethink this business, because your why needs to be pushing you, driving you, and you're going to go back to that. And just a couple of little things here, no testimonies. I can tell you that I did not have a testimony. I've always been a small person. I did not have any weight to lose, maybe 3 pounds. Who wants to hear about that, right? So what I did is I took my brother-in-law, lost 25 pounds in like 6 or 7 weeks. Everybody in the whole world that I knew that story about my brother-in-law. Oh my gosh, did you see him? Here's his picture. He lost this much weight. And I would use his testimony. Lori Harrison, her financial testimony. When I would tell people about it and about the business, I would tell them how Lori was doing. I wasn't making that much, but Lori was. And so I was telling them about that. So you have lots of diamonds here, lots of people in your upline, I'm sure, that are doing great. You can use their testimonies. Tremendous amount of health testimonies out there. What's your story? You know, you need to know your story so that you feel confident when you're talking to somebody. I hear a lot of people say, well, I don't know what to say. Well, your story can go something like this. What did you do? Well, I was a stay-at-home mom. For how long? I was a stay-at-home mom for around 16 years. And so what did you love about that? Well, I was a stay-at-home mom for about 16 years, and I loved being with my kids. What did you not love about it? Well, I was a stay-at-home mom for 16 years. I loved being with my kids, but, you know, I wasn't bringing any income into my home. And the last thing you're going to add to your story is, how is Plexus going to help with that? Well, I was a stay-at-home mom for around 16 years. I loved being with my kids. It was such a blessing, but there was no income coming in. We needed to get out of debt, and Plexus is going to do that. Plexus is going to get us out of debt, and I'm so excited about that. So, you know, just mold that into your story so you have something to break the ice with somebody. You have something to talk about. Last thing I'm going to tell you, and then we're done, guys, is dream big. Dream big. Each and every person on this call started off with the same products and the same compensation plan that you have right now. Okay? And I believe that God is not a respecter of persons. This can happen for anybody. There is power in your words. I loved it when somebody on the call was saying, like, a year to the day that they said that, I think that was Corrine there, that said a year to the day that she was going to go all in is the day that she turned emerald. There's power in your words. You look at yourself in the mirror and you say, people are attracted to me. I am successful. People want to hear what I have to say. I am emerald. Look at yourself and see an emerald ambassador. See you driving that Lexus, and go forward with it. So I am so thankful that you took time out of your day to watch this video, and I believe that great things are going to happen for you. So be blessed, guys, and we'll see you soon.